Man, I have some people over for the Sixers game last night.
Okay.
Some of my friends, and these are not the like a lot of my jokes don't land because these are not terminally online.
So they're significantly healthier human beings.
Oh yeah. Families, the
Right,
whole
right,
deal.
yeah.
Like don't read every single rumor, don't get every Twitter meme.
Right.
Like they are, however, convinced Matvei Michkov is coming over.
I love that for them.
Michkov made, I
love that for them.
Yeah, and guess what? They won't like follow it day by day, so it will be on June 30th he's either here or he isn't, and they'll get to just enjoy that or not. But it really speaks to like this is if you're a Flyers fan, all your hopes and dreams are going to come true 2 years early. Like people are so excited about it.
Yeah.
If you just Google the Flyers, like Philadelphia Flyers right now and click news, it's all Michkov speculation.
Sure.
Based on like one thing.
Yeah, one Russian language article.
That somebody had to translate for some. It could be all made up. Nobody's going to figure that out for months.
But it's fun. That's
fun.
the thing. This is fun. And the cool thing about it for me, as someone who covers the team and obviously deals with fans on a daily basis, is this is just pure excitement.
Yeah.
And you can tell that if and when, and I do believe it will happen, he does ultimately come over, whether it's in July, whether it's next summer, whether it's the summer after, I do think he will come over. The excitement and interest level in this team is going to be so high because people are going to be so jacked to see this dude who, and don't get me wrong, like I very much respect Claude Giroux and what he did for this franchise and the player he was. This will be the most excited we see Flyers fans since Eric Lindros. It will be. Just because of the hype. Like, yeah. Claude Giroux was a first-round pick who dramatically exceeded expectations.
That was a happy accident.
Yeah, and that was great. But this is the franchise savior. Like, Nolan Patrick, yeah, people were pumped to see Nolan Patrick, but no one had any delusion that he was, like, a generational player.
We were told, like, hey, it's cool they won this draft lottery, but don't think they solved their no-star problem.
Exactly.
Like, they got a really good player.
Yeah.
They did not get a franchise-changing player.
Yeah.
And it was like, there aren't any in this draft. And then it turned out that there were three.
The idea was that it's possible, but it wasn't the expectation. It was, hey, if everything breaks right, this guy could be a, 80 to 90-point guy who is a star on a cup contender. Yeah, that was absolutely an expectation. But it wasn't the, like, this is going to happen. This is not Connor Bedard. This is not even Macklin Celebrini.
No.
Like, that was not the level he was viewed at. Matvei Michkov, probably not, because I didn't live through this. I was 3-4 years old when it happened. But I imagine when Lindros showed up, like his first training camp, his first game, I imagine people were absolutely losing their shit. And I think it will be similar with Michkov.
My old man, who never watched a minute of hockey in his life, when they get Lindros, like the arbitration comes down,
right?
He goes to Sports Authority, buys a Lindros jersey, and gets season tickets.
Boom.
Like he got like a ticket package.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I see like it reaching the casuals for the first time. Like when we were saying, I think yesterday, man, when he shows up, like that development camp, that rookie camp,
it's gonna be nuts.
There's gonna be like cops directing traffic, and I was like, well, will it really? And then no, this is gonna be one of those things that like, it's bigger than Claude Giroux was awesome, but it's a happy accident. He was here, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's gonna be pretty damn good, huh? Oh, well, shit, he's actually better than the top couple of guys. He's the best player on this team, actually.
Yeah.
Like, and it just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Where Michkov, like, we have to wait and we hear, like, we watch the Russian highlights. It's this hype around it. Actually, he should have gone second. Like, it's just because he's Russian and you have to wait a while. It's like, it's just building up this, a lot the way the Lindros, I assume, like, he's the next one. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody has Lindros expectations.
Yeah, I think Lindros, that was on a different level.
He was supposed to be the next best player ever.
Yeah, it was, and also it was coming right after Mario, and it's like, okay, he's going to be the next, like Mario lived up to the expectations. Obviously, Gretzky was Gretzky, and then it was, okay, Lindros is the next generational, truly game-changing guy. He ended up being a Hall of Famer, didn't quite reach those levels, but was really, really good. Yeah. And for, 6-7 years was the primary focus, for better or worse, of Philadelphia Flyers hockey. I would expect Matvei Michkov, again, for better or worse, we'll see how it all plays out, will be what you think of when you think Philadelphia Flyers.
But now I have to, I tell you about my friends who are like, out in the world, normal people.
Mm-hmm.
I also am hearing it from the crazies online. And this is in no way derisive. I love all of our listeners, everyone who interacts with us. I am not trying to be mean to anybody, but I get a lot of DMs like this now. And they're, for somebody who might be a little older than us. Is that Michkov kid going to be on the team next year or what? If so, they need to trade for a true star sniper. Everyone needs to be on the table. Farabee, Brink, the picks as well.
I mean, I love the enthusiasm. I do. I love the enthusiasm.
I love the idea of true star sniper. It really cracks me up.
I mean, I think honestly, like, number one, while I wouldn't consider Michkov to be a sniper in the classic sense of the way people think of him, I do think he is a goal scorer. And that's not to say he doesn't have playmaking ability.
Yeah.
Like, he is a really good passer as well. He's a true offensive weapon. But I think definitely more than, say, Drew, Michkov, his first instinct is to try to score goals.
Yes.
Like, that is what he wants to do above anything else. And he is more than willing to pass and get someone else a goal. And he has the creativity to do it in the hands and the vision, but he is first and foremost a goal scorer. I do not think they need to get a true sniper to play with Michkov. I honestly would much rather them get a true playmaker to play with Michkov down the middle to feed him the puck so he can score 50 goals rather than 40.
It's going to be very funny that forever we had Jake and G. And it's like, what would be great? If we got this guy, if we got them like a guy who shoots really, really well, if they could pass to somebody, these amazing passers, these guys with incredible hands, incredible vision, who just want to set people up for easy goals. If we could just get them dudes who score goals, I already see like, oh man, Forster, Tippett, Michkov, fuck.
Yeah.
We need a playmaker.
We need a playmaker again.
We need a playmaker again. It's going to be the hole that we're trying to. We just really need a playmaking center. Well, we have Frost. Yeah. I really don't want Frost and Michkov together. Like, that's. Yeah. I don't really see that as maximizing.
Yeah, I would rather it not be a similar situation like they have in Minnesota right now, where, and like, don't get me wrong, Joel Eriksson-Ek, perfectly good player.
He's a really good player.
Take him on my team any day. If he's centering Kirill Kaprizov, like, that doesn't seem ideal.
It's like, maybe it's maximizing Eriksson-Ek, but it is not maximizing the dude with the highest potential.
No, absolutely not.
He is rubbing off on them rather than being helped by them. And that's,
exactly. But no,
you want someone who can.
That is a very funny DM. I mean, I remember like, this was probably like 3 years ago, and this was when I was single, and I was hanging out with a few friends at a bar, and they're like, "Oh, like, you're a famous beat writer, like, you probably get girls sliding in your DMs all the time." And my answer was like, dude, I do get people to slide into my DMs, but I guarantee you they are not people who are interested in me.
Oh, they're full.
They are very full, but they are not people interested in dating me. They are people interested in yelling about the Flyers to me.
It's people with very strong opinions about the Flyers, and those opinions are opposite mine most of the time, and they want to yell at somebody about it. But now I'm starting to feel a little bit of this Michkov-mania. I know we've said all along, the best thing you can do here is just say it's going to be the 3 years, and then if it's not, that's really fun.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know if I can. Like, I want to live in the world where it's happening. So, like, I just want to fast forward to June 30th. Like, I want to get the click remote.
The click remote, yeah.
And be like,
you wake up and you're like 40. Like, shit, he's not here yet.
Yes. Yeah, no, I fuck. That would suck. What do you think the chances are? Like, I know you don't know. I'm not saying you have any sort of. If you had to put a number on it, chances he's coming July 1st.
I would say probably somewhere in like the 10 to 20% range. I don't think it's likely.
It's not zero.
It's not zero. It's higher than it was before that report came out. To me, and this is not only based on like me reading the tea leaves, but just things that I've heard. to me, this more opens the door much wider for him leaving a year early. I think this sets the Flyers up much better for him making his debut in 25-26 rather than 26-27, which would be the first year after his contract expires. My general assumption and where I'm kind of coming at this is that if they're already opening the door now, that makes it significantly easier if he gets a year with Ska, they get their 1 year out of him, they know he's going to essentially be a lame duck guy the following year, then it becomes, okay, we got something out of our investment, now let's just figure out some under-the-table deal to make sure everyone who needs to get their beaks wet gets paid, and then Michkov comes over.
I love can you imagine if this is how, like, fucking Peyton Manning came to the NFL? Like, if he, instead of going to Tennessee, he went to, University of Moscow, and like to get him over, like, this would be the biggest goddamn shit in the world. Like, we'd be if the NFL depended on Russia the way the NHL does, we would be allies. Like, we would have world fucking peace if the NFL depended on Russia the way the NHL does. That's how I see this thing happening. It would be a straight up talent exchange. That's what would bring it.
We all silly like the mayor.